usually like to steal other people's words on this podcast, but I'm going to today. I'm going to start this interview off by stealing the words of journalist Simon Brunsden from Wide World of Sports when he said Australia has a new winter sports superstar and her name is Charlotte Wilson. Because we do have a new winter sports superstar. Earlier this year, in her debut season on the Moguls World Cup stage, she claimed the Rookie of the Year honours. The first time an Australian has ever done that in the history of moguls skiing. And not only did she claim that honour, she then, 24 hours later, went and won her first gold medal in the World Cup of Moguls. It's been an amazing season for her as she pushes towards an Olympic debut next year in Italy. It is a pleasure to welcome to Off the Podium, Charlotte Wilson. Charlotte, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm excited because you just had an amazing season last season and put the world on notice that you're somebody that we need to keep an eye on very closely in the lead up to the Olympics. I mean, we're obviously talking, I guess, in the off season for that part of things. It's probably never an off season for you when you're training and everything for Olympics. But I'm just going to start off by asking, how has life been since that pretty incredible weekend a couple of months ago when you went from Rookie of the Year to a World Cup winner in the space of 24 hours?
I mean, that was a pretty crazy experience, that's for sure, that I don't think that many people expected. I definitely didn't expect it. But no, I've tried to keep my head small and remind myself that I've got a lot of work to do in the next couple of months. And so hopefully I can replicate some moments like that. But yeah, it's been a pretty exciting few months after that. And a lot of dreams came true that weekend.
I'm going to try and balance it so that your head doesn't get too big then by the end of this interview, but also making sure that you are, very slightly big. You're allowed to be slightly bigger. But I mean, it's sort of one thing, I mean, I'm going to get to more of that weekend a little bit more in the interview, but the one thing that I really noted, and I think this is more of a wider conversation and a wider, ploy by the media, that we're seeing a lot more mainstream coverage of people like yourself and these achievements in non-Olympic years, because as we often discuss on this show, Charlotte, it's a shame that in Australia we often don't really pay attention to our winter athletes until February of every Olympic year, right? So to see the fact that we do have Channel 9, I saw ABC, a lot of these places were really putting it out there that you had achieved this. It's great. So how do you find that level of it? It's kind of the media attention that came from it, and not just from the standard winter media outlets. You were getting Channel 9, you were getting ABC, you were getting these big ones sort of really pushing it out there.
Yeah, that was definitely a shock. I mean, I haven't really had any media attention whatsoever in my life. So that was a bit of a shock, took some getting used to, but I mean, it's pretty exciting for the sport. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of people in my life who didn't even realize that it snowed in Australia, including people who live in Australia. So I think that it's really exciting to be getting that attention from, I guess, the wider community, not just the people who already know what we do, and show them what winter sports is all about. And I guess it's really exciting to get people interested and excited this far out from the Olympics, so that, people can learn about it a bit more, learn about our training, learn about, I guess, the scoring system in moguls, learn the athletes. And then, I mean, it makes the Olympics even more exciting to watch when you have a little bit of a clue what's going on.
Exactly. It's not just that bumpy one that we watch every 4 years. We know what we're talking about when it comes to moguls, right? I've got to then bring up the standardized question that I'm sure you get all the time, Charlotte. How do you get involved in moguls? As an Australian, skiing, it's not something we do all the time. So how do you get involved in the sport?
I grew up in Jindabyne, so I've lived in Jindabyne my whole life, and skiing's just been, I guess, the most normal thing to do down here. I started just doing your development squad, learning how to ski, trying everything out. And then I got into mogul skiing through the inter-schools competition, I guess. So they just had a little bit of everything, some racing, some moguls. I dabbled in snowboarding, but I was terrible at it. And I guess moguls was just a thing that stuck for me.
I find that interesting.
My interest branched from there.
Yeah, I always find it interesting, kind of the developments of where skiers go, because skiing just as a broad term is a unique sport that you've got, three main disciplines. You can do Nordic, you can do Alpine, you can do freestyle. And obviously different countries will be more focused on different ones, but you're dabbling in everything, and then each of those has their own discipline. So I always find it interesting that people choose moguls? Because from somebody who doesn't ski, Charlotte, I look at moguls as going like, that's got to fucking hurt your knees. Like of all the ones, like why do you choose that one? But what was it about moguls that kind of was the one that you ultimately did choosing over the others?
I think the thing about moguls that I really enjoy is that it is a judge sport. So there is a small time component, but a majority of it is quite technical. And so, I really enjoyed the actual bumps section of moguls. I think that that's probably my strong suit as well.
Fascinating. Okay.
But then, yeah, I don't think many people say that.
No,
but,
I don't think I've ever heard somebody say, I enjoy the bumps of moguls.
Yeah, but the aerial aspect is super cool as well. I mean, we're pretty lucky in Australia. We have quite a large pathway program for mogul skiing, and so there's a lot of support for younger athletes to get involved through like trampoline and acro sessions. And I was always involved in those kinds of things when I was a kid. But I guess, the love just grew from knowing that there's kind of a bit of artistic expression and technique in mogul skiing, not just whoever can go the fastest wins.
Well, I always forget that. Like Colin, one of our co-hosts on the show, who unfortunately couldn't join us here today, he's Canadian, and his number one sport on the entire planet is moguls. He follows the World Cup. Like he's glued to the television. Like he's going to be mad at me basically that I didn't get him on this show and organize it because, get an opportunity to speak to you. But I would always have conversations around him that I used to be that naive person. I just thought it was a timed one. It was just fastest down the hill. There you go, boom. And then all of a sudden, no, then there's the whole technical element and all that to it, but which it makes it very interesting, doesn't it? And going to your point about how you like that judging aspect of it, that you can fly down the hill and be, the Usain Bolt on skis. But if you obviously haven't executed your tricks and your performances in the air enough, you're not necessarily guaranteed to be doing a good performance.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's quite interesting about it. I think it can also be quite strategic. Like you're not just trying to do the biggest trick or the fastest run. You're really sticking to what you can do best and perfecting those little skills, because in the long run, that's what performs well.
In terms of when it comes to training and I get, let's say strategy, are you always more focused on that technical element or the speed, or do you really have to balance 50-50? Like I'll rephrase that and saying, is one more important than the other, the speed or the technical element?
The technical element is much more important. So speed only is 20% of the criteria.
Right.
And so, obviously the other 80% is really where you're getting your points from. And that's just marked by judges, and that's on the technique. And so I think that that's a lot more important to focus on. And I find with my skiing that the speed comes with the technique. The more efficient you are, the faster you go. And so I think that I don't find speed something that I need to focus on as much as technique. I think that comes along with it.
Were there any other disciplines that, if moguls hadn't have worked out or anything along those lines, that was sort of, I don't want to say the backup option, but another one that you enjoyed? I mean, did you kind of loosely think of anything else outside of moguls, or was it moguls, that was it?
I definitely don't think I thought about any other snow sports disciplines, really. Moguls has always just been that one for me. I always say that everything else is too scary, but people look at me like I'm crazy considering what I do. But
I would probably rank moguls not one of the non-scary ones, definitely.
Yeah. So I think it's always been moguls for me. I tried snowboarding. My sister's moved into snowboarding now, and I just couldn't do that at all.
Is that rival? Does that make it rivalry? Because I know that obviously sometimes there is a bit of that snowboard ski rivalry, isn't there?
I mean, half my family snowboards and half of us ski. So
wow.
I think that we've kind of got the percentage pretty down pat, because everyone has a friend to go with and not too much rivalry.
There you go. I like that. And then you can just also pull out numbers if there's any like a big conversation over the dinner table. You can be like, okay, well, of Australia's Winter Olympic gold medals in our history, only one's come from snowboarding, 4 have come from freestyle skiing. So just saying it.
Exactly.
Balances
so
that
who's
out.
Better?
Right? Exactly. There you go. Exactly. There you go. Were you much other sports as well outside of skiing, like typical kid growing up playing different sports? Was it like a summer sport that you're also playing when you couldn't get on the snow?
I did a lot of sports. I did a lot of horse riding actually. That was kind of my main sport until I really got into mogul skiing when I was
Wow.
about 14.
Okay.
I'd spend most of my time on a horse, and then I played a lot of school sport, so touch football, AFL, just term by term at school. But
Great.
yeah, it was mainly horse riding and then into mogul skiing.
So, I mean, horse riding, equestrian, was there sort of a pathway that you were looking? I mean, this Olympic pathway that we always like to use on this show, Charlotte, of course, like were you dreaming of maybe representing Australia in equestrian one day at the Summer Olympics?
I think little kid Charlotte definitely was, but I mean, my poor parents, I picked the two most expensive sports on the planet, and I think that equestrian might honestly pip snow sports. So I don't think the Olympics were in my sights, but it was definitely something that I enjoyed and spent a lot of my time doing.
Did you watch the Olympics growing up? Was this something sort of every 4 years, or as we always say, every 2 years, essentially, because you got a summer and winter every 2 years that you watched either yourself or with the family all those times?
Yeah, we definitely watched the Olympics. I mean, it's difficult because a majority of the time the Olympics are in the other hemisphere, so
Mm-hmm.
the time difference isn't always the best. But I think I definitely found myself watching the Summer Olympics more than winter, honestly. I mean, up until more recent years, obviously, I remember watching Jakara win her gold medal. That's kind of stuck in my brain forever. But yeah, I probably watched the summer more than the winter.
You're going to always, I get scared by asking this question because you're so much younger than I am, but what was the first Olympics you remember watching?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I'm really testing you out in this.
Maybe like 2016.
Oh, yeah, my heart. Yep, that hurts.
But I remember. Yeah.
That's when this show started, just to point that out. So we were covering
I'm sorry.
first. Yeah, no, it's all right. We can forgive you that one. Which, I mean, based on your birth date, you were born the year before the man that I'm wearing on my T-shirt won a gold medal in 2006, the great Dale Begg-Smith. Now, obviously, he's well and truly back on his private island and living in his, best life, celebrating all his achievements. But I could always ask a question. Have you ever had any Dale interactions? And if not, have you sniffed his aura around the moguls universe there in Australia? Because we are the number one fan of Dale Begg-Smith on this planet.
No, I actually have never interacted with him, but it gets whispered around quite frequently in the training environment up at Topper's Dream. So his legacy lives on in mogul skiing, that's for sure.
I like hearing that because we sort of know that he, since his career, he's golf. He's always been Mr. Obscure, and that's part of the reason why we love him. I think it was, didn't Cooper get a text from him after Beijing or something just saying like, you were robbed, DBS, and that was basically it. I think it was like that. And we've had Britt on the show, and obviously she's talked a lot about him and everything along those lines and that legacy he's left. But I mean, I'm just pointing this out that next year at the Olympics will be 20 years since he won gold. And of course, he did that in Italy. So it's a good omen in an Olympic year ending with 6 in Italy for mogul skiers that there's a gold medal. So I'm just putting out the good auras for you, Charlotte. I realize it's a different course, a different part of the country, but it's still connected very closely.
Thank you. You're definitely manifesting it now. I didn't know that fact, but
you're welcome.
That's pretty nice to go into next year with.
Yeah, you're welcome. And we just, everybody out there, as we always say on the show, we need to celebrate Dale more and more every single time we can. So obviously you get that choice. It's moguls. I'm going to be doing this. Like, how do you progress in terms of, all right, I'm doing this, and then I want to go pursue this as my sport, my career? Do you have to get the right coaches? Do you have to, hey, mum and dad, this is what I want to do outside of school? Like, kind of, what is that first step when you really want to push towards a career in mogul skiing?
I think the first step for me was beginning those overseas camps. So branching out from just training in our domestic season and making it more of a year-round commitment. So, I mean, I started a bit later than a lot of other people that I train with. I obviously spent a lot of my summers here in Jindabyne, and I wasn't that keen on going overseas. But I mean, I think my dad, he just loves snowboarding, and he would take me anywhere in the world if it meant that he got a ski trip. So, yeah, going to Winter Park and doing my first ever overseas camp, and then progressing from there and going to Lilydale and water ramping into the swamp in Melbourne. Uh,
I love hearing
those were
about
kind
this
of the
swamp.
defining
I
moments.
love hearing it from between moguls and
I hope
aerial
I
skiers.
never have to go back there. Yeah.
That's why the Jeff Henke Centre
character.
works right now, doesn't it? Like that to prevent you from having to do that?
Yeah. 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 It was a character building moment, that's for sure. Turning up to Lilydale. The first time I went there, my mum tells everyone, we drove around the roundabout into Lilydale and I just started crying. And I told her, Mum, I don't want to jump in that swamp. I'm not doing it. And here I am. So I'm lucky I stuck it out, but
wow.
don't want to go back there.
I can't remember who we had on recently. We were talking about this. There's such a story in that place that the people that are created in the history of Australian winter sports, you know, the Alyssa Camplins, the Lydia Lasselas, you know, when it comes up, I mean, Dale probably was there. Jakara's been there, you know, like just the level of athletes and the success that if you were to somehow be able to work out a percentage of every Australian Olympic gold medal and then work out the percentages of a training facility that birthed those athletes, I would go on a limb and say that would have the highest percentage of gold medal turnover. As I said, 4 of our 6 Olympic gold medals have come in freestyle skiing. So I'm sure that all 4 of those gold medals were born in that swamp. So I'm just saying, there's a story, there's a move. I don't know what we can do, Charlotte. We need to somehow get that out there more.
Yeah, there's something in the water there, obviously.
Definitely. Just maybe also a few diseases from what I've heard.
Yeah, and leeches and turtles.
And turtles. I've never heard of turtles before.
There are turtles.
Wow.
Yeah, they're probably the cutest thing in there, but
okay,
the leeches are bad.
The leeches are bad. Can you like get some turtles in up in Brisbane for the centre up there, or?
Well, that would be cute. That would be cute. I'm not sure if the regular swimmers would enjoy that while they're swimming their laps.
Who cares about them? They're successful
cool.
enough. Like, you know, they've got other pools they can go to. They don't need to use that. Why are they using your centre? Like, they've got their own.
I agree.
Come on.
Exactly.
Bloody
I agree.
Swimmers. Demand. I mean, they're about to get a freaking new one for the Brisbane Olympics. Go away.
Exactly.
Go away, swimmers.
They'll be fine.
Exactly. they'll be doing that. Your first overseas NORAM Cup 2022 in Canada. What was that experience like going on that stage of things? You talk about sort of, you know, going to those camps and everything, but that first moment you're able to really face up against these other competitors from other countries, you're representing Australia. I mean, what was that experience like for you at that point?
That was pretty exciting. I think that had always been like a big goal that had been talked about, you know, making the NORAM tour and getting to represent your country there. And we also got to go on a camp with 2 of the Australian development team athletes. So that was kind of my first taste of that environment as well. And it was also my first season flipping on snow. So there was lots of things to be excited about, but it was also just post-COVID and Canada was sort of still in lockdown. And so, I mean, it was definitely a weird environment. I was getting sort of into the gym, onto a proper mogul course, flipping on snow. But getting to compete at NORAMs, which had been spoken about, I guess, since I'd started mogul skiing by all the older kids, that was super exciting. And doing, a proper mogul course and getting judged for it and getting live streamed back home, that was a really exciting moment for me.
What's that moment like flipping on snow for the very first time? And how much different is that from flipping into a swamp in rural Victoria?
Strangely, it's actually, I mean, not strangely, because I guess that's the whole point, but it's pretty similar actually. And I did mine a bit later, so I was kind of just chomping at the bit, really just wanted to get it done and join everyone else. So it's very exciting. It's very nerve-wracking, but you always know when someone's doing their first flip because pretty much the entire community is there at the air site cheering you on. So it's a very cool feeling. It's very exciting. And it's probably one of the big milestones, I think, in our sport when you start off.
We recently spoke to a bobsledder and my question to him was, do you remember your first crash? And he sort of touched on, he actually went a while before he crashed and he said, you're kind of not really a bobsledder until you have your first crash. So is that a case for a mogul skier? Like when you have your first, like you don't land, you have your first crash. And do you remember your first sort of crash when you were doing those tricks on the snow?
Yeah, I think that it definitely sticks with you and it's a good wake up call to, you know, make sure you're doing your technique correctly and keeping on top of those sorts of things. It also makes you never want to do it again. I mean, I was lucky. My first flips were pretty decent, but I still remember my first ever tip in where I went too small on the top air and then just landed on my face. And that's a good
Ouch.
wake up call that no matter how scared you are to go fast and big, it is way better than going slow and small.
Yeah, for sure. And does it always weigh on your mind? Well, actually, let's phrase that. When you get into that area where you tip, as you're saying, do you have enough time to think that, shit, I'm about to land on my face, shit, I'm about to crash, or is it just over so quickly by the time you've thought about it, you've got a bunch of snow in your mouth?
Um, yeah, usually it's just so quick that, I mean, I vividly remember I didn't even realize why I was on the ground, but my ski was just stuck into the landing at the top of the hill. And I was like, oh, obviously took that one a little bit too small. So it definitely happens a little bit too quick to do much.
Yeah. I just find it fascinating sometimes when you hear some athletes who can talk about thinking about it, like, and it's just over in such a millisecond. I don't think there's a question I've ever asked a mogul skier before. I love in aerials when you can hear the coach like yelling at the athlete, doing the flips, coaching them. And the athletes often talk about it. You're hearing them, you can hear that. Is there a coach positioned that you can hear them sort of yelling at you down a course, or are they sort of positioned at the top or the bottom where you can't actually hear them when you're going into your jumps?
Only in training. So in training, we usually have a coach on top air and they film, they can call cues from up there. But then in competition, it's only at the top and the bottom. But
Right.
I've frequently heard my coach as I push out of the gate shouting to me at the top. But we have the same like tuck or out when we're in training from the coach on top air to make sure we don't land on our face or our back.
Obviously
Well,
not a
in
good thing.
competition, you're on your own.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just you and the bumps and the bumps and the jumps.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. That works in kind of that one.
Yeah.
I mean, the NORAM sort of the season in 2022 across Canada. You obviously got a lot of experience out of that. Then you went into the 2023 season where all of a sudden pushing up further up the ranks, and you go into the World Junior Championships in 2023 in Italy as well. Let's point that out. Fifth in the team on the dual moguls, 11th in the moguls, and then 17th in the dual moguls. What I see here with the results there, Charlotte, is just that progression, right? It's literally like looking at a graph and you're seeing the numbers starting sort of like higher and then getting lower and getting lower. And obviously we'll get to that World Cup season very, very shortly. But were you sort of finding that was your goal in those early years going through those circuits, that it was just all about progression and rising your way up? Or were there other sort of things that you were working on in terms of trying to get yourself further up the field to push towards your eventual World Cup debut?
I think I probably was a little too hung up, honestly, on the results in those first few seasons rather than just my progression as a whole. I definitely had lots of ups and downs, I guess, not a lot of consistency. Junior Worlds was a very exciting time for me. That course was pretty challenging. I'd been on the road for nearly 4 months that year. And getting selected to go to Junior Worlds was exciting. We don't really send a team to Junior Worlds as moguls. It was mainly just to get spots for the Youth Olympics. So it was kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity to go there. And I think that I definitely put some of my best skiing forward there. But I think I found in those earlier years I was probably a little bit too ahead of my time, looking for what I could do next instead of focusing on my progression in the moment and building those fundamentals. But I mean, it's all learning as a young athlete, and it's all helped me get where I am today.
Because you've got just the age factor here. I mean, you're what, 20 years old at the time of speaking. So we're talking back then you're what, 18 or 17? I mean, this is ridiculously young, Charlotte. And you're obviously, energetic and wanting to get out there and progress. But it's sort of like you're so young that you've got so much time ahead of you. But I can understand that drive to kind of want to, keep pushing. I want this now. Like, let's go. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think as well, we had such a successful mogul, like World Cup team at that point that I had a lot of idols. I had a lot of people I looked up to, and I just knew that that's where I wanted to be. And obviously everyone just wants to be there as soon as possible.
Yep. It's also that level, because obviously we're talking in that period where you're starting the NORAM Cup just before the Beijing Olympics. Chikara goes on and wins the gold, of course. So moguls is just absolutely buzzing. I mean, you talked about watching that, but someone like Chikara, someone like Britt, obviously at that time in her fifth Olympics, are these like the idols? Are these the people you look up to? And are they able to give you advice and feedback sort of as you progress throughout the sport?
Yeah, I think that as a younger athlete, and especially going into my first year on the development team in 2022, we had a lot of input from those athletes. So Britt did chats with us. She's really into like her yoga and recovery, and that was a really big learning curve because I'd never really heard the words you should stretch and recover before. I just wanted to go out and ski moguls all the time. Um, so just like they gave really good insight into, I guess, the daily life of a full-time athlete rather than just a kid who wants to play some sport. And I mean, not everyone gets to train with Olympic medalists every day. So
yeah.
having Jakara and Matt to just pick their brains, watch how they train, watch how they interact with their coaches and the people around them. It's just been crazy to watch and learn from.
It's insane to think that, isn't it? That you can sort of get into a sport and then that quickly you can be up again, you know, side by side with Matt Graham, with Jakara Anthony, with Britt Cox, like these, you know, icons of the sport. And obviously then just learn so much and see, because it's such that tight-knit community. Like I love hearing this from any Australian winter athlete, doesn't matter what the discipline is. It's always just so tight-knit. And that even outside of skiing, you guys are then also very closely associated with the snowboarders or the curlers or the bobs. Like it's just such a tight little community in winter sports in Australia, which I love hearing.
Yeah, we're really lucky. I mean, obviously there's not a lot of us. It's not as big as like swimming or athletics, those kinds of things. And so it's very easy to quickly get to know a lot of different winter sports athletes. And we're all lucky that a lot of us are training in Jindabyne for a few months every year and go to the same gym together. Lots of them live together. And I guess it's nice to have that support from people who understand what you're going through. Not a lot of other people travel as much as we do, spend as much time away from home as we do. And so to just have a community that really understands what you're going through and what it takes to succeed is really amazing.
You touched on Youth Olympics. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you didn't go in 2024. Were you close to going in 2024? Sort of what happened to that Youth Olympics at that point?
I was the age group too old.
Oh,
so
right.
the way
So
the Youth
aged out.
Olympics works, it's like, yeah, they only have like 2 years or so that can go, but it's only every 4 years. So people miss out every now and again.
Yeah.
But my sister went, so that was pretty exciting to watch.
What was that like, cheering her on, and how did she end up going?
She came fourth in the individual and third in the teams event.
There you go, bronze medalist.
She was probably one of the medal favorites going into that event. And I mean, she's my little sister. I've always been proud of her, but I feel like she's probably looked up to me for most of her life. So
wow,
to get to sit down and just watch her do her thing for once was pretty cool.
And so what snowboard discipline is she concentrated on?
She's in snowboard cross.
Right, okay. And is she pushing towards Milano next year, or is she sort of more looking towards 2030?
I think it's difficult with snowboard to know. They have so many amazing girls in their team in Australia right now, but we've had a few injuries, so I guess it's just depending on what happens there. But I mean, Abby's training really hard, and it would be pretty incredible to go to the Olympics with my sister next year.
I'm going to say,
I'd enjoy that. So
adds an
fingers
extra
crossed.
incentive, right? Going out there, the Wilson sisters out. We love hearing that. So why not?
Yeah.
That's exciting to hear.
That'd be awesome.
And that just adds to that rivalry we were talking to before about the snowboarding and the skiing, right? Like, you know, like
exactly.
If only one of you makes
it, put on the world stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that answers the question.
Exactly, which we know it's going to be you. No disrespect to your sister, but she's younger. She's got more time ahead of her too. So, you know,
exactly. She does.
Just kind of adding to that aspect of it. The World Cup season. So, obviously 24-25, you make your World Cup debut. Before we get to the results and the amazing season that you have, how do you make that decision? Is it like conversations with the coach, with federation, like, hey guys, I'm ready to step up to the World Cup? Or is it the opposite? Is the coach just saying to you, like, Charlotte, we think you're ready. Let's take you off the NORAMs and let's put you at the very top. World Cup, let's go.
It's definitely from the coaches. So I was hoping from the NORAM tour previously to hopefully qualify myself up. We've got obviously like hard criteria and then discretional criteria where you're selected just by your, I guess, national organization and your coaches. And so I was pretty disappointed, honestly, after my NORAM tour. And I kind of took a few weeks and stepped back and I was like, what do I want to do? How am I going to make this possible to go to World Cup? I was really looking at Milano Cortina and thinking that's coming up quickly and I'm not sure how I'm going to get there. But yeah, I really put my head down and had a pretty great Australian domestic season. And from there, the coaches said, look, we think you could give it a good crack and we're going to give you a shot and take you over and do some of the World Cup tour this year, train up with a different group. And yeah, hope that I kept progressing and give myself a little bit of, I guess, that taste of the next level of competition without going through a full strenuous World Cup tour.
What's that like when they say that? When they say we're gonna push you there? Like, is it confidence building? Is it nerve wracking? Is it a mixture of the both?
I think it's a mixture of both. I was stoked that they thought I was ready, but at the same time nervous.
Yeah.
Going, I really hope I'm ready. I've got to prove myself and make sure that I keep improving as well as competing well. But I mean, it was just exciting as well. That's what I'd been really working towards and thinking about for the majority of my time on the development team. And so that was just, I guess, a tick off the bucket list already.
Which, let's then just go over what happened at the World Cup. So 10 events, and I'm combining here obviously the dual and the non-dual, the single moguls, just normal moguls. Is there a technical term there? But of those 10 events, 5 of them you finish in the top 10. And then you ultimately close out with a gold medal in the dual moguls at the test event in Livigno in Italy, which we'll touch on separately there. But to me, it almost just seems like you get to that top level and every single time something like this happens, you just seem to thrive on it because, as I touched on before, you get announced as Rookie of the Year and then you go and win a damn gold medal 24 hours later. So I just feel like you need to always be told, like, Charlotte, you're going to the World Cup. Boom, I'm going to do very well. Oh, you're Rookie of the Year. Cool, I'm going to win a gold medal. I feel like, I don't know, like ahead of the Olympics next year, somebody needs to go like, Charlotte Wilson, you are the Prime Minister of Australia. Great, double gold medal. I don't know. Like it's almost like somebody tells you something good and then you go on and kick ass. I mean, is that just in your blood? Is that just your nature? Like that's how you work?
I'd like to think so. Hopefully I keep that going. But I think I really just honestly took the pressure off this year and things started rolling from there. I really just focused on the things that I could control. And then surprisingly, things went quite well from there.
Yeah. I mean, just absolutely incredible. And as I said, the amount of top 10s is just outside of that gold medal win. And you became the quickest Australian to win a gold medal from the start of the World Cup in only your 10th race, which is just absolutely insane. And you became the first Australian to win the Rookie of the Year honours. And again, I mentioned the likes of Jakar Anthony, Britt Cox, Dale Begg-Smith, Matt Graham. We've got a storied legacy in this sport in this country. None of them did it. And here you are going out and claiming that. When you get announced as the Rookie of the Year, I mean, first of all, are you aware of this? Like, is there like a ranking system so you know you're going to win it? Or is it a simple case of knock, knock, knock. Hey, Charlotte, good morning. By the way, you are the FIS Rookie of the Year. I mean, that must be a pretty incredible moment.
Yeah, it's actually voted for by the coaches.
Voted for. Fantastic.
So,
even better.
Yeah, so it's pretty nice to know that people kind of like me. But yeah, so it's not necessarily the person with the best results, just points wise added up. It's, you have to have a decent season, but it's also, people think that you're good for the sport. They like having you around, really. And so I think that was pretty lovely to know that not just, I guess, my teammates and my Australian community thought that I was a nice person, but the wider mogul community enjoyed having me around and thought that I was good for the sport. And so that was a pretty nice feeling because, I mean, everyone just welcomed me in with open arms. Everyone was lovely, wanted to get to know me on training days, rode up the chair with me. So it was a very cool environment for the year, but to be recognized at the end of it like that was pretty special. But I actually found out I did my qualification run, I think, so it's announced at the end of singles day at Livigno, so at the last event of the year. And I think they'd voted on it the night before. My coach didn't tell me because she wanted me to just go out and compete that day and not worry about it. And I did my qualification run and they have like the camera, and you're standing in front of the billboard waiting for your score. And one of the this guy's media guys, he's like, "Oh, great run, Charlotte, and congrats on Rookie of the Year." I'm like, it's 9 a.m. Like, I don't know if you're supposed to be telling me that yet. So I found out just in the finish area after my qualification run that day, actually.
Wow, what a time to find out. That's all right.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
What do you get? Do you get anything special? Do you get a nice trophy or any sort of prizes for it?
Yeah, I got a huge cup trophy, actually.
Nice.
It was pretty cool. I mean, everyone said it looked cooler than the globe, so I'll take that. But has a little bit of gold around it and a little engraving. It's very nice.
I'll take gold over crystal. Just saying, you know.
Yes, it was very cool.
Was that fun to bring back to Australia?
I actually sent it home with one of my friends, which felt a bit bad for her. But it came in a nice box with some bubble wrap, and I just stuffed a bunch of clothes that I didn't think was gonna make my bag under 23 kilos in there. And I said, please take care of this and protect it with your life, and sent it home.
And she probably felt pretty cool coming back with this trophy, going like, yeah, look at me, I'm a Rookie of the Year mogul skier, everybody. Can I get a first class upgrade, basically?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was a win-win.
That's where you milked that. Then, as we say, the World Cup win that weekend. Now, not only do you win the World Cup, like let's talk about who you beat on the way. This is in the dual mogul. So you beat the world number 3 in the quarterfinals. You then go up against 2018 Olympic champion and world number 2 Perrine Lafont in the semifinals, who you just go, yeah, get out of my way. I'm going forward there. And then you get to the gold medal match, the moguls and the dual moguls. You're up against Jalen Kolf, the number 1 in the world, the Crystal Globe winner, the dominant force on the scene that season. And you're promptly going, let's just say, kick her ass. I watched the race. You kicked her ass, Charlotte. Let's be honest. I mean, I saw the interview with you afterwards where you talk about how, like, you were happy to make it to the final. Obviously, you're going to get a medal no matter what, but then you just go out and win. And the thing I love about watching the race, and going back to what we're talking about, the speed and the technical elements for it, you're quite a bit behind her at the beginning, but then you just motor on down, cross the line, and then obviously have done enough on the technical side of things. Did you know you had won it when you crossed the line? Like, was there just that feeling where you're like, I executed all those moves. The judges can't not score me for that. I've got a gold medal here.
I think that was probably one of the only duels that day where I knew that I'd won it, honestly. It felt clean. It felt fast. I knew that I'd done absolutely everything that I could, and I knew that I crossed the line first. And yeah, I kind of left my heart on that mogul course, and I was pretty sure I had it in that one.
Which, I mean, if you want to leave it on any course in the world, leave it on the one where the Olympics are going to be, so that you can obviously make sure it's there. Because again, let's reiterate, this was the Olympic test event. This is the same course that you are striving towards to compete on at the Olympics next year. So, I mean, if you're going to choose a place to win your first World Cup medal, make it a gold and do it at the Olympic test event, right? Which, did that add extra, like, motivation and pushing towards this goal of making the Olympics, knowing that not only are you capable of doing well there, you're capable of winning gold on this course against the literal best in the world?
Yeah, I mean, even just seeing that course for the first time, I was like, this is going to be a serious course, a serious Olympic event. But then, putting down run after run and knowing that not only can I execute what I've been training to do, but I can compete with the best on that course is just a huge confidence boost. It just leaves me with a little less what if heading into next year and turning up to Livigno again, knowing that I've been there before, I've done this before. This course is nothing new, and it's going to be fine.
And you'll pick your heart up again and make sure it's left there, and with the medals there. And at the end of the season too, you end the season 12th overall. So not only your Rookie of the Year, you're 12th in the standings, which fantastic result overall. I mean, just the season in general. I mean, it's probably a dumb question given that you did well, you get a gold medal, you get the Rookie of the Year. But were you satisfied with your first World Cup? And that obviously then leaves plenty to build upon as you enter your second World Cup season, which happens to be an Olympic year, of course, as well.
Yeah, I think that season really just exceeded all of my expectations, honestly. I wasn't thinking about really any of that. thinking, oh, it'd be nice to make a finals or so. And I was pretty stoked in Idre to make a 10th, and you start getting paid from 10th onwards. So that
Nice.
was pretty incredible to know that
Bonus.
you can make a little bit of money from mogul skiing. But yeah, I'm hoping to, carry that skiing that I had last season and improve on it into next season. I mean, it's hard to expect results because everyone's going to be working just as hard as I am. Hopefully, I mean, hopefully I'm working harder, but you know what I mean? Um, Everyone's working just as hard to keep improving. And so as long as I keep improving as well, I can hopefully expect similar results to last season and then hopefully land on the podium a few more times.
Which it also must be very interesting given that 4 years ago, you're watching Jakara Anthony win a gold medal, bit of an idol of yours, going, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. And yet in a matter of months, you're going to be going up against her and potentially like beating her to a gold medal. I mean, is that a strange feeling? I mean, ultimately, you want to win, you want your teammates to win, but at the same time, like, you've gone from having her as like a hero and idol watching her on TV to her being one of your biggest competitors standing in your way to win your own Olympic medal.
Yeah, it's definitely been a weird 4 years going from, I feel like there's been a lot of big changes going from a little kid just stoked to make her first Australian team now to podiuming on World Cup. And as you say, watching those people that I've just, I guess, grown up learning from and looking up to now training and competing alongside. It's definitely a weird feeling, but I mean, competition's great. It's great to push me further. Yeah, it's great to watch how, I guess, an Olympic champion trains and going, if I do those things, that could be me too.
Yeah, for sure. And to be the best, you got to beat the best, right? Like that's the old cliche to keep going along that way. So the process now, Charlotte, we're obviously recording this in August. We're talking a bit off air that sort of you're back home right now. Goal is to go overseas a little bit later this year. But the qualification process, do the points carry over from last season, or is it a completely reset ahead of the Olympics and that you will start afresh when you go to the next World Cup season?
Yeah, so the Olympic qualification period began at the start of last World Cup season. So when I started, which
perfect timing
is, I guess, exactly pretty nice that I got my starts then. So those points carry over into this season, and then I think quotas are released after our last World Cup event, possibly.
Okay,
that's I guess when it stops. But then, yeah, so we get quota spots, and then Australia chooses their Olympic team to send. So it's nice. I'm sitting in a pretty good position right now.
You're above Jakara. I just saying. I know she was injured, but I'm just saying right now you are the number one Aussie. Just floating it out there.
I did get maybe 9 more starts than her, but
just ignore that little fact. That's a little asterisk. We're just, yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it was lucky too because Lavinia was only top 30 in the world could compete, and so then the top 30 move. Because top 30 get quota spots to the Olympics. So then the top 30 move a little bit further away than the rest of the field. Makes a bit of a buffer point. But yeah, those points will carry into this season and then a few more events before Lavinia.
Do you find yourself do you have like an Excel document where you're constantly updating points, or is that your coach's job and you're just constantly looking over like, where are the points at? What's it looking like right now?
No, yeah, the FIS app is pretty awesome.
Okay.
To go on there. They follow everything. But I mean, going to Lavinia, I think my coaches were pretty stressed refreshing that app. I was ranked 30th in dual moguls. So I waited pretty much until I got on the plane to go over there to know if I had a spot or not.
I got to ask, I mean, dual moguls obviously making its debut. I mean, look, if I'm judging on your results and sort of the more consistent ones in the top 10, I would assume that you prefer moguls over dual moguls, but then you did win the gold in the dual moguls. So do you have a preference? And is the goal to qualify for both for Milan Cortina?
I think I prefer single moguls. It's a little bit more technical. You're trying to execute that perfect run and you're competing against the rest of the field, while dual moguls, you're just competing against the person beside you. But I'd like to think that I'm a pretty fast skier, and so that works well in dual moguls. So I can, I guess, execute what I want to at a quick speed, and that's quite helpful because time's a little bit more important in duals. But I'm looking to, yeah, compete in singles and duals at the Olympics, which
That's
will be exciting, and hopefully keep up with the consistency from my single moguls and take that Lavinia win into the Olympics.
Which I love it. I love it when athletes then get opportunities to win extra medals because, you know, again, this isn't literally me shitting all over swimmers in this episode, but let's be honest. There's a reason why Michael Phelps wins like 23 fucking medals is because he's got 23 fucking events he can win medals in. Whereas, like, for the most part, until now, as a mogul skier, you can only win one medal. So, you know, at least now you can win two. So it gives you extra chances there, Charlotte, as well. But in terms of the turnaround, so if we're at a World Cup event, I'm assuming that if you've got your single moguls and your dual moguls, I'm assuming it's a quicker turnaround than what we're seeing at the Olympics. So I think there's, 3 days in between your events at the Olympics. So is it generally quicker turnaround, or do you have a 3-day gap? Is that usual in between your single and your dual moguls?
No, so at a World Cup event, we have 2 days of training and then we compete single moguls the next day and then dual moguls the day after that.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's just
so it's literally the day after.
4-day block.
Okay.
Yep, you get 2 days to get to know the course and then you're straight out to compete. But yeah.
So is that a bad thing then? Having 3 days?
After.
Would you rather that sort of like momentum so you don't have to sit around for 3 days? Because I can imagine if like you win a gold when you win the gold in the single moguls, that you just want to fucking get out there and keep the consistency going and not have to sit around for 3 days doing interviews and looking at your new stamp and all this kind of stuff. You're just like, get me out there, coach. I want to win another gold.
Yeah, I think that 3 days, my mind's definitely just going to be going around in circles thinking about what's happened and what's to come. But I think it's nice to have a bit of recovery too. I definitely found this year, I've never really competed, back to back to back, week after week, like you do on the World Cup tour. And I found, especially after my first few super finals, that I was really struggling to wake up on Jules Day and get my body going after doing, 7 or 8 runs a day before. So I think it'll be very nice for the body to have 3 days between singles and duals at the Olympics, but maybe not so much for the mind.
No, exactly. It's that mentality of it. Have all the family booked accommodation for Italy? Because, I mean, knowing from experience of trying to get my accommodation for Italy, it's not that easy, particularly in the mountain regions of the country. Milan's fine, but the rest of it's bloody hard. So have they managed to find something?
Yeah. So my parents will come over and my extended family, which will be very exciting.
Right.
So far they're all booked, but after going to Lavinia earlier this year, I can see why it's been such a hassle. It's not the largest town, and to host the whole, I guess, freestyle part of the Winter Olympics, it's going to be a tight squeeze. But, I'm excited that they'll get to come over and watch me compete again.
My naive self, Charlotte, when I first week I'm like, okay, I'm in Milan. Let's do ice hockey, speed skating, opening ceremony. We'll do that. Easy, right? And then I'm like, okay, secondly, let's do Cortina. So I got my tickets for certain sports. And I'm like, all right, let's look at accommodation in Cortina, thinking it was a town of a certain size. When I start seeing that accommodation prices are like $40,000 a night, I'm going, yeah, okay, I think maybe I've done something here. So, the research of finding the town that is on a train line that gets you to a shuttle bus to get you to your venues, that was a process. But I'm sure that there are going to be a lot of people traveling to the Olympics next year, enjoying a lot of long train trips and shuttle buses to the variety of different venues, are there not?
Yes. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I've told my parents at this point they might just have to walk from their accommodation to to the course, considering there might be some crazy traffic going on.
Yes. It might be quicker too, based on all of that.
True.
We're going to get to some get-to-know yourself questions in just a moment, Charlotte. But one thing I just discovered, literally time recording this, in the last couple of days, it was announced that you're a scholarship holder for the AIS Scholarship Fund to help you qualifying for the Olympics. I mean, you touched on before winning money and sort of, top 10, that sort of stuff. As we know, with so many of our winter athletes, funding is so important to sort of get you to where you need to go. But I can imagine this AIS fund, like that's a big deal. That's really going to help you out when it comes to getting to Milan next year.
Yeah, so they have an education scheme. So I'm studying part-time right now, university. And so that's going towards paying for some of my university subjects.
Right.
So that I can really focus a lot of my time and financials, I guess, on mogul skiing.
So use that money that you're winning on prizes for your skiing rather than having to spend it on textbooks and shit like that.
yeah, which is really exciting. It's nice to have that support and also have the support that's setting me up for something after mogul skiing as well.
And you're
So
doing,
been very lucky with the AIS.
biomedical engineering, if I'm not mistaken. That's what you're studying?
Yes, I'm doing a Bachelor of Material Science and Engineering, which will then be a Master's of Biomedical Engineering.
Now, for somebody who, like me, is not that smart, what is that? Like, what does that lead you to doing, essentially?
I went into that degree hoping to go into prosthetics.
Right, okay.
So I guess a lot of people in sport go into those physio or sports science things, but I just loved maths and science at school and wanted to go into engineering, and I guess biomedical I can put a little bit of my sporting background into as well as that engineering. But yeah, eventually I want to hopefully go into prosthetics, but
Fantastic.
biomedical is all from, I guess, MRI and CAT scan machines into hip and knee implants and prosthetics and all that. So
okay.
Wide range of things to do.
Yeah, far out. That's very fascinating. I sort of never. I see the words on a page and I think I know what it means, but then I need somebody like you to explain that to me to kind of go. And that sounds to me like obviously an industry too that you're always going to find work. Everybody always needs that stuff in life, right? So I think you kind of set with all your Olympic gold medals around your neck and crystal globes, then you'll just go off and forge that successful career elsewhere in the world as well. Fantastic.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's the plan.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the plan is always got to be. The other thing I was going to touch on too. So I your video where you've won the gold and you've got the flag and there's a lovely little koala hanging off the Australian flag there. Very, very cute. I like that. I've been really trying to push out there a team name for the moguls team because as Australians, we love naming our national teams something, the Socceroos, the Matildas, you name it, we've got teams. I've always tried to stick with the moguls team that we should be the Bumperoos because I just think it fits so perfect. And I'm trying to really push that out there, Charlotte. So I don't know if you can, put that word out again to the OWI, the AOC, get it to Jakara, get it to Matt, get it to the bigwigs. Dale on his island will hear it and, put it out into the mist. Like the Bumperoos just works so well, doesn't it?
I do. Yeah, I agree. I really like that. I mean, it goes with the aerial team is the flying kangaroos.
Yep.
And so it works in with that.
Yep.
That freestyle kangaroos aspect.
Exactly.
I think I can get that out.
T-shirts, merch, come on, standing on the hills there in Italy with big Bumperoos signs. And it's, again, we know all of our teams based on their nicknames. You just have to say the word the Matildas. You automatically know who you're talking about. I think it's literally only our men's and women's cricket teams are the only ones that just don't have names. They're just the men's and women's cricket team. So we need to have it. Bumperoos fits perfectly. So let's make it a thing.
Done. There'll be T-shirts.
Exactly. I'm expecting you when you're on Channel 9 and you're being interviewed. I want you to put that out there, the Bumperoos. And then, Eddie McGuire and James Brayshaw are going to be screaming that on the top of the hill and going that way. So you're welcome, Bumperoos. And
thank you.
Anytime.
I'll have to credit you.
Yes. We do it secretly for, the clicks on this show. But, hey, anything also to support the team. And I'm all for merch, all right? So I will be first in line to buy the T-shirt. Charlotte, as we said, we wrap up every single interview with a set of get-to-know-you style questions. We standardize these now. Every guest on this show gets the same one. We used to alternate them, but this is all the same one. Start off with the first one. What's the one thing you never leave home without when traveling to a competition?
Oh.
You're not allowed to say skis because that's the obvious one.
No, probably some kind of lollies.
Oh, okay.
I have to have lollies in my pocket.
Nice. Do we have a go-to lolly? What's the go-to? You're always going to the Woolies or Coles lolly aisle.
Well, in America, they have these fruit lollies called Welch's.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, I have been guilty of buying them in America and then packing them in my bag to take them to places that do not have Welch's. I found an empty packet in my pocket just the other day, actually in Perisher.
Wow.
So probably those.
That's why your 23 kilos needs to be let free when you're putting clothes and your trophies to your friend because you got all the Welch's lollies.
Exactly, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Good answer. I like that. What's a traditional superstition that you follow before every big competition?
I guess I try not to be too superstitious because then that really gets in my head. But I definitely have a routine of my yoga, my journaling, listen to A Whole Lot of Woman by Kelly Clarkson, and then get on with my day.
You just answered the next question, which what's a song that's on every one of your pre-competition players? Just touching on the journaling. I mean, Nicola McDermott, the high jumper, made such a deal of that back in Tokyo, and we loved it. We loved seeing her sitting there in between jumps and writing her in a journal. Like, is this a similar thing? You're on the start line, you're writing in between like sort of runs, and are you writing technique improvements? Are you writing like, oh, I saw a lovely tree, this made me go better? Like, I mean, what sort of are you writing in your journals, I should ask?
I do it before every day, I guess, in the morning. But no, I like to do what I'm worried about just to get it out there. I'm a little bit of a stressed person, so to say it out into the universe and not have to think about it anymore is nice. And then have a little confidence bank.
Oh, nice.
So I guess just things that I know that I'm good at. Write down a few little confidence bank reminders for the day, and yeah, that seems to help.
I think we all need to take that on board. I love that. That's fantastic. And then again, multiple gold medal champion down the line, when you write your autobiography, you can probably look back at these and go, well, this is what I wrote just before I won gold in Italy. So
yeah,
you know where you're at. I like that. As I said, we answered the pre-competition playlist ones. We can go to number 4 now. The most unexpected or funny DM that you've ever gotten is?
Oh.
It always scares me, this question, because there are some sick freaks out there when we've discovered on this one that people are getting messages of.
Yeah, there are some scary ones. I have a little friend from Kazakhstan now, a little fan. That was probably a funny one. He now messages me after world champs. I got a just crying face emojis because I crashed just out of the blue. And it's like, I'm sorry.
Oh.
So that one was a little out of the blue, but nice to know that there's someone watching me and cheering me on from the other side of the world.
I like that. That's cute. Okay. I think this question's turning around. I think the more recent ones we've got on this are more sort of nicer, inspirational, not just feet pics and sugar mummy and sugar daddy, messages. So
yeah, no feet pics as of yet.
No. Okay.
Hopefully
I like
it stays that way.
And shout out to your Kazakhstan friend as well. That's
exactly.
That's a nice
hello.
one. Hello to you. I don't know what hello is in Kazakh, if that's a language, but I'm sure it's a good word. The weirdest thing that you've ever eaten at an international competition, and did you like it?
It's probably not that left field, but had a bit of reindeer in Finland. We do a lot of training in Finland.
Yep.
And it's pretty good, actually. I had reindeer pasta.
Oh, reindeer pasta.
I would recommend.
Nice. That sounds delectable. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I always like it because we often get the standard, like, we get a lot of answers from, I went to China and I ate this, and the lovely delicacies you've had there. So I love getting another country that we haven't added to the list before. So Finland and the reindeer. Okay. Is that what Lydia's eating? I know she lives in Finland. I guess she's on a staple diet of reindeer living up there in the hills.
Reindeer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it feels worse when you see a reindeer, though, because they're pretty cute.
Yeah.
And then it makes me not want to eat them as much.
That's true, right? Yeah, that's a good point. On food, your ultimate guilty pleasure meal after a big competition?
Oh. Probably any sort of sweet treat or something gross, like big burger, something like that. When I get nervous, I get nauseous. So then the end of the competition, I'm usually starving.
Mm-hmm.
So anything I can get my hands on that's fatty and sugary.
Good answer. That means then that
the
Olympic Village, whatever sort of version you've got near your venue there, that all you can eat, right? Like you'll be looking at the lines before your competition and going, right, I'm there day after my gold. I'm filling my plate up with everything.
Yeah, everything. I'll eat everything there.
I'm going to be like tracking all of our winter athletes next year because all of our Paris athletes will consistently talk about the chocolate muffin at the village in Paris.
That sounds good.
We need to know what the viral food will be in Milano Cortina because, I mean, you go into a good Olympics, I think Italy, Italian food, I mean, come on, it speaks for itself. So, we'll touch base with you, Charlotte, to make sure that there is whatever the viral food is come those Olympics next year.
Hopefully it's a good pastry.
Oh, yes, exactly. Are you a pasta fan? Like, are you prepared for all the pasta and the pizza and everything? Very Italian?
Yeah, I think I should have been Italian, honestly. My favorite food is pasta, and my second favorite food is pizza. So,
you're set.
And my third favorite's probably paninis.
Oh,
so I'm ready to go.
That's the only reason you're going to the Olympics. You literally woke up one day and was like, I'm going to go to the Olympics. Where are the next ones? Italy. All right, yep, that makes sense. You know? Yep.
Perfect. Get me there.
Done. Beijing. Nah, we'll skip those ones. We'll,
yep.
Go to the ones afterwards.
They don't have pasta there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
You know, what do they know about pasta? If you could swap sports for a day with another Olympian, what event would you choose and how do you think you would go?
Ooh,
can be summer and winter as well. So either.
I like I have to go with something obscure. Because that would be fun.
Say breaking. Go on.
Maybe like
be the new ray gun.
Well, I've seen maybe like pentathlon.
Oh,
yes. A little bit of everything.
Yes, I am the world's biggest modern pentathlon fan. I love any sport that combines sports that shouldn't be combined. So that's why I love Nordic combined as well. Like it's just like, what are they doing together? I'm all for it. So absolutely, we'll get Chloe Esposito. She'll train you up, and you can be a gold medal in modern pentathlon as well.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the horse riding.
I'll be Chloe Esposito for a day.
Exactly. I mean, I know they're taking away the horse riding, aren't they, for the next Olympics? Bugger, we'll bring it back. You're good at the horse riding. You just need to run, shoot, swim, and fence. Whatever. You know?
Yikes. The fencing could be fun. The swimming's not my forte.
Hey, you've
done
enough.
The swimming I do is with a life jacket and a helmet on.
I was going to say, how many times have you been in that pool, right? Just bring back the turtles, you know?
That's true.
Push you along.
If I can do it with ski boots on and a helmet and a life jacket, I'll probably be fine.
Well, let's go a step further. Let's have the winter pentathlon. So therefore, you know, you can combine winter sports that shouldn't be combined. One of them can be moguls. I don't know. Let's add curling in there. We could have moguls, curling, bobsleigh, ski mountaineering, and ice hockey. You just have to have some puck skills or something like that. That's diverse enough that nobody can dominate one category, can they? There you go. You're welcome.
That's true.
Yeah,
thank you.
Anytime.
I'll start that up maybe.
Salt Lake 2034, Switzerland 2038 if that's where they end up going. Again, Australia, Brisbane 2032 is technically a Winter Olympics. It's in our winter, so we can create this sport.
That's true.
So
that is true.
Yep.
We'll have some snow hopefully.
Yeah, global warming, right? 2032 will be snowing in Brisbane by then. You know, so it's happening. It's happening that fast. I love this question because we always get help from ChatGPT to make it a little bit interesting on this one. If your Olympic journey were a movie, Charlotte, what would the title be and who would play you?
Oh.
Don't know if you've ever been compared to another actress at all before, or if there's ever been a doppelganger at all.
I don't think so. I'd like to be like Margot Robbie or something though.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Good. I
think that would be fun.
I can see it's one of those things where it's like it might not be straight away obvious, but then you can always see kind of how they would blend into you, if that makes sense. You know, it's sort of like whenever somebody's cast as like a famous person, you're like, oh, I don't see it. But then as soon as you see them on the screen, you're like, okay, yep, I see it. There you go. So I like that.
Yeah.
Would you like?
I think it'll be cool because I could be her boss too. You know.
Hey, exactly.
Like, I don't act like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, she's already done it for winter athletes. She did it with Tonya Harding, didn't she? So she's already on the winter sports pages. So you're onto something here. Any ideas for a title? Because ChatGPT's given me a couple of ideas here. If you can't think of one.
Oh, I'd love to hear ChatGPT's.
All right, these aren't some of the best. I'll be honest. There's often some better ones here. So we've got White Lines, Golden Dreams. That sounds like some sort of drug movie, to be honest. So I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it really does.
Carving Her Path. That's not too bad. From Aussie Heat to Icy Heights. 25, the Charlotte Wilson story. And they've said here, based on your bib number. I guess that's from the photo that I submitted of a picture of you with the gold medal. So that's smart, I guess. So ChatGPT thought there. Uphill from here. I mean...
Oh, that sounds like it might be a little bit of a negative experience.
Yeah, that's
hopefully we're not...
Yeah, I don't know about that
Although
one.
if we're starting at the bottom with a gold in Livigno, that could be good.
Yeah, that's very true. That works. Okay. And going up, yeah, okay. I like your thinking there. The Rookie Run. That's okay. Dual Mogul Single Focus. I mean, I see what they're trying to do there, but you're also in Single Moguls too. So, it's not just all about the Dual Moguls. Yeah. Winter's Rising Star. That just sounds like a headline that you'll have on Channel 9. Gold Down Under. And I think my favorite is number 10, peaks and podiums. That one's not too bad.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's quite catchy.
Okay. Now, generally at this point, I have a mock-up image that I can show you. But apparently today I've asked for too many images of ChatGPT saying, wait 24 hours. So I will get one created and we will have it on our social media and I'll send it to you. So when we put this interview up, we will be able to see that. Yeah, you're welcome. Because we always like to see it. Like we like mock it up and see what we're seeing on the screens there at Hoyts and Village and all that kind of stuff. Number 9, Charlotte, what's the one question that you are tired of being asked and what is the one that you wish people would ask you instead?
I guess everyone wants to know, but the whole what is mogul skiing? I feel like I've never nailed the answer, even though I have to answer it all the time. But I also don't know how to explain it to someone who has no idea what I'm talking about because it's just the bumps and the jumps. And that's all I can really say.
Yep.
Oh, actually, I'm adding into that one. How are your knees? If one more person asks me how my knees are,
I stopped asking that question after our second mogul skier on this podcast. Don't worry.
Yeah, training yesterday, I think I got asked 4 or 5 times.
Wow.
In 3 hours.
Just wear a t-shirt that says they're fine.
Yeah. So following on from that, probably a better question to ask is how is your back? Because
how's your back? Okay.
It really hurts your back, mogul skiing, more than anything else. Yeah, that's probably my one.
That's no,
we could switch the knees.
Yeah, switch the knees to the back.
My knees are fine.
Okay, good to know. I mean, it is a sport though. I mean, most winter sports, let's be honest, it's sort of you're always going to be injured at some point. Like it's I'm sorry to keep bringing up curling, Dean and Tali. We love you, but of all the winter Olympic sports, that's the one that you're going to be less likely to be injured, whereas all the other winter sports. Although having said that, I did speak to Dean recently and he was telling me about the injuries that he's seen and has happened. So it's not exactly completely free. But anyway, my point is that you're always going to get injured at some point, no matter what, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of a dangerous sport.
Yeah.
But that's why everyone loves it.
Exactly. That's why the winters are better than the summers. Let's be honest. It's just that danger element. That
it's more exciting.
It is. Yeah. It really is. And I think it is also that Australian element. I mean, you obviously grew up around the snow, so it's probably a bit more part of your life. But I think for the majority of us, we don't grow up around snow. We don't see these sports. We never, ever talk about short track speed skating on a Thursday around the water cooler, do we? So that's why the appeal to me has always been like, wow, look at these sports. I mean, I'm a mad ice hockey fan. So I'm just like, yes, let's see the best of the best. So yeah, winter, shit's all over the summers. Again, this has just been the shit all over the summer athletes episode.
It started with the swimmers. Now it's just expanded to the entire summer athlete cohort.
We brought up Chloe Esposito. I'm happy enough with that. That's fine.
That's true.
That last question for you, Charlotte, the big deep one we like to end up on. What's one lesson you have learnt more from losing that you think has shaped you more than winning?
Probably sounds really, I guess, self-centered, but that no one is going to remember it. I guess like
Great
having
answer.
a bad day is not the end of the world. And I guess it's difficult, especially being an elite athlete. You think that everyone's watching you and everyone cares in a way, like that you having a bad day means that nobody's going to like you anymore. It means you're not good at your sport. But I think that it's actually important to lose and realize that the world doesn't end and the world doesn't revolve around you and that, things are going to just keep rolling and you're not going to be there forever.
Great answer. I like that's up there. That might be the best one we've had. That's a really solid point.
Thank you.
I mean, literally, I just right now I'm picturing the random thing that came to my head with that, but it's related to your sport. The great Mikhail Kingsbury, he posts those amazing photos of him with like 30,000 crystal globes and gold medals, right? Because he just wins them all the time. But that's what we talk about. We don't talk about that one time he didn't win a crystal globe or a gold medal.
Yeah.
So, great answer. I love that. Charlotte, before we let you go, if people want to follow your journey between now and Milano Cortina, social media, website, plug everything that you've got and people can follow the journey. Maybe get some more Kazakhstan friends messaging you along the way.
True. That would be great. Then my biggest support is actually my DMs, really. Mostly on Instagram. Just following my journey on there. I'm trying to post a little bit more of the behind the scenes as well, of
Great.
the stuff that we do that nobody really knows about in the gym.
Great.
So,
and TikTok? Yeah. I mean, you're of that age. I can feel old by saying, have you got the TikTok? Like, I mean, you're 20 years old. You're basically the TikTok generation,
I'm like embarrassingly cringy on TikTok. So, if you want a good laugh,
hey,
I'm on there. But
don't we always? We always want a good laugh.
Yeah,
Go that way. That's what I say. Charlotte, it's been such an honor to learn about your journey and everything that has happened throughout your career, and plenty more to come. As I said, we've got many more years to look forward to seeing you out there in the world stage. Good luck between now and the Olympics, and we're going to get you back on this show, shiny golds around your neck, and reincarnating Dale Begg-Smith's 20-year moment from Turin in 2006 to keep up this Aussie mogul tradition in Italy in an Olympic year ending with 6.
Put it out to the universe.